Hi, everybody. If you're here early, I want to invite you to get yourself a mirror because I'm going to be showing you some things that you can look at in your eyes. So get yourself a little mirror. If you have like a light, this is a pin light. You don't have to have that, but you can use any kind of a light like a keychain light. And I just want to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, go ahead and would you put it in the comments? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hopefully. I'm starting a little early so you can have time. I wanted to show you guys some things about how you can look in your eyes to see what's going on in your transverse colon, which affects the ability of you to think straight and for your brain to work properly. So if you have a mirror and if you have some lights, go get them. If not, it's not a big deal. You're going to learn how to do that. I'm going to give you guys all kinds of good information on what causes mental decline. I'm going to give you some things that are going to give you the ability to put them into practice today. I'll give you a couple of supplements. I'll tell you where to get them. You can get them from my store, which I do make a little profit on that. There are some things that I don't carry that I'll mention. And you're not going to want to miss this because there's a lot of good information. Okay, so we have 2 more minutes before we actually get started. So if you can, go get yourself a mirror. If you have a light, you'll want to do that. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. What causes the decline? Things you can do today to start bettering your mental capacity and your memory and your recall, how to prevent it for when you get older, and some supplements you can take, other things you can do besides just supplements, right? So that's what we'll be talking about. So we have 1 more minute, but I do need to know if you guys can hear me. Can somebody please put in the comments if you can hear me? I don't want to record something that is not going to have any sound. So just type in the comments. I can hear you. If you can't hear me, tell me I can't hear you. So some of the destinations, from what I understand, cannot go in the comments. So maybe you guys are trying to. Let's see, we have another minute or two before we get started. So brain revival, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about what causes it, what you can do today to begin to reverse it, supplements you can take. I'll give you a couple of good quality supplements from my supplement store, which I make a little money off of. And in the notes, you can see I have my email address, I have my website address, I have my Fullscript address. So the Fullscript store is basically, it's a warehouse that carries many different brands. And I have an account with them, a professional account, where you can get all kinds of quality supplements. Now, I would recommend that you go, once you make an account, you go into mine and you look at my favorites, because that's where I have chosen the top brands that I would recommend. I don't recommend a lot of those big pharmaceutical ones because they have added ingredients that are not good for you, even though they can be, they can initially sometimes give you a boost. They do put you out of balance in the long run, so they're not good. Anyway, my Fullscript store link is in the notes, or it's in the comments, so you can go there. And anyway, it is 11:01, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to, add to stage. Okay, there we go. All right, can you guys see that okay? If I need to make that a full screen, I can do it. But today we're talking about brain revival, strategies to turn back the time on cognitive decline. All right, let's go. You have to be patient with me because I am trying to learn how to do this. All right, let's go to, okay, what we're going to cover today. What is a neurotransmitter? Specifically, what is acetylcholine? Acetylcholine neurotransmitter. What can prevent good neurotransmitter flow? And let's look at the iris to see if your digestion is clogging up your brain. What can we do to gain it back? Okay, I just want to make sure. Yes. You can see me okay? All right. All right. Okay, so your body and especially your nervous system is an electrical system. Okay. You fire electrons and neutrons, and they go down your neurons and reach each other and fire. And so your central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord, then you have your peripheral nervous system. Everything fires. You are an electrical being. You have different wavelengths traveling, and there are certain ways that it's supposed to travel throughout your body. And so acetylcholine is especially good at the brain and helping you recall memories. So a neurotransmitter, it is a chemical that is released from a nerve. As you can see, the nerves there, they don't actually touch. They send information from one to another through the synapse. So a chemical that is released from a nerve cell, which thereby transmit an impulse from a nerve cell to another nerve, muscle, organ, or other tissue. So you're not just your nervous system is everywhere, and it involves the muscles and all the tissues of your body. A neurotransmitter is a messenger of neurologic information from one cell to another. Okay. So acetylcholine specifically is the main one that increases neurotransmitter speed, your ability to recall and memories, to not forget names or where you put your keys and things like that. So acetylcholine travels the myelin sheath. Now the myelin sheath are these things in these pictures. See where the blue one on the left is a healthy myelin sheath, which is basically a fat layer, a lipid layer around your axon. That's the tail, basically, of the nerve. Now, the electrical impulses go down those and travel those. But if you have damage to your myelin sheath, your processing speeds are not going to be good. So the healthier the sheath, the faster the brain's processing speed. And acetylcholine is what travels down that. So we want to make sure that our myelin sheaths are healthy. Okay. So from the Cleveland Clinic, acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in memory, learning, attention. Do you have trouble focusing your attention? Arousal and involuntary muscle movement. Medical conditions associated with low acetylcholine levels include Alzheimer's disease and myasthenia gravis. I may not be saying that right. Researchers still need more studies to determine if choline supplements provide health benefits. Okay, so always Cleveland, it's a medical. You have all these studies. I'm going to be showing you some studies that is pro acetylcholine. And then you have ones that, are going to say supplements don't help. You have to realize who is giving this, who is making up the study, who's putting the rules into the study. Are the studies put together properly where you get an unbiased actual answer, or are you getting a biased answer from what they want you to do? Or are they lying? Because sometimes they lie. And you have to be able to read the whole study and read through the whole study to know, are they really telling me what the title is saying or the conclusion is saying? I had a very a good friend that I respect very much, who is working in Child Protective Services, who believes that vaccines are safe. So she had posted a study that the title said it was safe, and it was, promoting vaccines. So I read the study. The study started off with, I think, 30 kids or something like that. They lost about 60 of them and quit following them. But then they said those last, few percent did good, but they lost track of 60% of their children in the study. But then the conclusion was only based on that very small amount. So what do we know happened to those other kids? Did they have bad reactions? Their parents pull them out? Did they die? We don't know. So you have to remember that when they do these studies, that there's a lot of bias. It can be. I mean, I'm not saying every single one, but a lot of them are. Let me just go back to my studio, make sure I don't have any questions here. Can everybody hear me all right? All right. Okay, I'm still learning how to do all this stuff, so I'm having to switch back between pages, and I'll come back and see if you guys have any questions or remarks. All right, next slide. So what does acetylcholine do? When it binds to the muscular receptors, it regulates your heart contractions, okay, and blood pressure, and decreases heart rate. Okay, moves food through your intestines by contracting your intestinal muscles. You know how many people I know have come to me because they don't go to the bathroom, and it's because their intestines can't push things through because they have no muscle contraction. So if you have that issue, you might be low in the acetylcholine, right? And a lot of drugs will destroy the lining of your intestines, so it just basically destroys it. It takes a long time to rebuild. It causes glands to secrete substances such as tears, saliva, sweat, digestive issues, juices, and milk. Digestive issues. Control and release of urine. Do you have urine problems? Controlling that. Contracts muscles that control near vision. Causes an erection. When it binds to nicotinic receptors, it allows skeletal muscles to contract. Causes the release of adrenaline and norepinephrine from your adrenal glands. Activates your sympathetic system with the release of norepinephrine. So when you're talking about your adrenal gland, your fight or flight, right? If your adrenal glands are worn out, you're going to have low blood pressure. You're not going to be able to think correctly because you don't have you don't have the epinephrine, norepinephrine for your adrenal glands to release. So that's important also for neurotransmitters. It activates your sympathetic system. Both types of receptors are involved in memory, including long-term and working memory, memory formation, and consolidation and retrieval. Okay, so within your brain, acetylcholine is also involved in motivation, arousal, attention, learning, and promoting rapid eye movement during sleep. So when we get low levels of acetylcholine, then all these other things that we just mentioned are going to not work as well. So, okay, so what causes us to lose this ability? The body's response to injury or infection is inflammation. So, inflammation, anytime you have swelling anywhere in your body, you're going to have inflammation, and we don't see it in our brains because we can't look inside and see our brains. But if you have it in your body, you're going to have it in your brain also. So what causes inflammation? Any kind of physical injury. If you have a physical injury, you hit your head, anything that would cause obviously an injury. Now, a lot of foods, right? You hate fruits, especially gluten. Gluten will cause all kinds of inflammation. If you're diabetic and you're on gluten, you should get off that. It will cause swelling in your body. It will exasperate your blood sugars. And anytime that happens, you obviously have more inflammation in the brain. So we have a toxic environment, right? We have toxins all over the place. And we know they're in the vaccines. They're in the food supply. They're injecting our animals with these vaccines. You are what you ate, what you ate. You are what you ate. So if your animals are sick and you're putting that in your body, how do you expect to be healthy? So you want good, clean food. And then we have EMFs, which we're going to talk more about. Let me just go right back to StreamYard, make sure there's no questions. Okay. So inflammation, no matter where it comes from. And detoxification really is very important. So if you've never done a good detox and you want to learn more about it, just message me and we'll talk about it. It would be neat to get a group together at the third week of January, after all the holidays are done and people are done with all their Christmas and their New Year's Eve stuff. Wouldn't it be nice to get a group together and do a 3-week detox together? If you're interested in that, direct message me. All right. So some of the things, okay. Cold medicines, right? Antihistamines, antidepressants, alcohol, they all lower your acetylcholine in your brain. These drugs, I wrote it down what each one of them are for. They're called anticholinergic. I'm not very good at that, but this is from Medical News Today. Atropine, it is medicine for heart arrhythmias. Okay, they also give it for irritable bowel syndrome, for pre-op surgery, and dilates your eyes when you go to the eye doctor. Okay. Benstropine, it's anti-tremor. It's Parkinson's medicine. So basically, when you think about that, Parkinson's medicine is actually reversing what you really need is more acetylcholine, not less, because that's you need acetylcholine for good brain function and good memory. So if you're taking benztropine, I'm not sure if I'm saying it. I don't know these by heart, guys, so be patient with me. I'm not a doctor. Okay, so I'm just giving you information that you can use in your life, and I don't diagnose, but I can tell you how your body works, and then you can take that and apply it to yourself. That's what I do, is I teach people how to be self-sufficient in their health. I empower you. So glycopyrrolate, and by the way, you can go to Mayo Clinic and enter these in and see what the side effects are. Anytime you are contemplating whether to take a pharmaceutical, you always want to do that. And you always want to go down to the primary and the secondary effects. They will not tell you what, they'll give you the symptoms, but they won't tell you exactly what it means. Like blood in the urine. You know, some of them will say blood. Well, what does that mean? It means it's destroying your kidneys. Okay. But they won't say that it destroys the kidneys. They'll say there'll be blood in your urine. You have to put 2 and 2 together. Anyway. Okay. So glycopyrrolate is a pre-op med to stop your salivary and your respiratory secretions. Okay. So scopolamine. It's for motion sickness, irritable bowel, and Parkinson's disease. So basically, when you stop and think about these medicines, these pharmaceuticals, they're actually just shutting off certain mechanisms in your brain. And they can often, why do you want to lower your acetylcholine? You know, if you have Parkinson's or you have Alzheimer's, you need more of that. You just need to clear away the junk and support the nervous system and make yourself healthy. Okay, that only comes through detoxification and rebuilding, a regenerative detoxification. That only comes through. You cannot rebuild the body if you have poisons in it that are breaking it down. And like I was saying a minute ago, we have so much in our environment. We have electromagnetic frequencies, which we're going to talk about in a minute. We have stuff in our food, in our air, and inside your home you think is safe. But do you have a router in your home? Do you have, do you spray for bugs? Do you have carpet? Do you use plastic? There's so many things that are in our home that make it worse for us than actually outside. So detoxification is very important. Okay, so then we have, I should have really tried to figure these words out. Oh, I forgot that, dihexafenadil. I don't know what that is, phenadil. Anyway, I didn't look that one up, sorry. But diphenhydramine, that's cold medicines like your Benadryl. So I know people who sometimes like give their Benadryl to their kids at night just to get them to go to sleep. You are lowering their acetylcholine. You're making it worse. There are other ways to go about it. Just look into other things. What is the problem that they're not sleeping? And get some good natural person that you can talk to about it. Anyway, Clydinium, those are for ulcers and irritable bowel. Okay, so what they're basically doing is they're stopping the cramping, muscle cramping, because acetylcholine is involved in, part of your muscles. So they're giving you medicine to stop that, but is that why you're cramping? Always go back to, why did this happen in the first place? What happened to get me there? That's where you want to address it. You don't want to cover the symptoms. You have to go to, where did this happen? Then you have flavosate. I think that's how you say it. That is for overactive bladder, frequent urination, and painful bladder. Then I didn't write down what that one, the last one, oxybutyn. I don't know what that is, but anyway, you can see that what they're basically doing when they give you is they're stopping a mechanism that they believe is causing you the problem. But your body needs acetylcholine. You need acetylcholine to think clearly, to get those things firing. And if you're firing too much for some reason, then let's find out why. Let's get rid of the congestion and the things that would break down tissue and the things that would cause a short and rebuild. Okay? So stop adding fuel to the fire. And one of the best things that you can do starting today is eat clean food. Eat whole food, not food from a box, not food, from the fast food place. Clean, whole foods. That's your best fuel for your body. That is good fuel. And don't be afraid of fruit. Fruit has been demonized, because the problem that we have is people, they're not really thinking things through. Okay, sugar. Your brain needs sugar. Your brain needs sugar to run. Your body needs carbohydrates to run. And fruit is fructose. It is the simplest sugar, the most available sugar for your body. And there is a debate on whether or not you even need insulin for fruit sugar. So I have seen diabetics who eat fruit for their breakfast, stay off the wheat, your blood sugar will begin to go down. Okay, so I want to challenge you. Are you a diabetic? Can you get off breads? Do not mix your fruit with anything else. Don't mix it with your vegetables. Don't mix it with your meat. Don't mix it with any of that kind of thing. No complex carbs, because you do not want fermentation. Okay, so you eat your fruit by itself. I just challenge you to first get off your gluten, your bread products for a few days. Then do fruit in the morning. Do a bowl of berries. I challenge you to do that and see what happens with your blood sugar. Okay? Okay, here's just an example of why you want to read labels and not get processed food. I think that label attracted me because it looks wholesome. It looks healthy. So I went and picked it up, and then I turned it over and I looked at the ingredients. Monosodium glutamate. Okay, that has been expressed as I forget what it's called, but where it causes your brain cells to die faster. Okay, excitotoxin. They call it an excitotoxin, where it actually excites your cells so fast that it causes your brain cells to die extra fast. Okay, and then you have hydrolyzed soy protein. I use this in my school, in the School of Natural Healing. I teach people how to read labels. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, you might want to talk to me. Send a message. But anyway, and then you got your natural flavors, which anything can be labeled as natural. Anything can be labeled as natural. If it's arsenic and it comes from the ground, they can call it natural. Okay. So, and then there's maltodextrin, which is a different kind of form of sugar. And it can also be made from gluten. Sometimes it's made from gluten. So you have to be very careful. And then you've got your things that preservatives and things like that. So they are not good for you. Okay, so let's talk about the energy of foods. Let me double check here, make sure nobody's leaving me any messages. Nope, not yet. Okay. All right, so we're talking about reversing. If you just got here, we're talking about reversing brain damage and getting your brain to working and functioning well. And so one of the things you can do is eat good foods and eat the most electrical foods, because remember, we were just talking about how your body is an electrical system. Your body is electrical and it has energy flowing through it. Everything's energy. So I used to have people come into my office and I would do muscle testing, and I would test them for parasites and metals and all kinds of things. Well, because the body is energetic, I can use homeopathic remedies or actual food to test a person to see if they have parasites, metal toxicities, fungus, things like that. And when, let's just say you have parasites, okay, and I test you against parasites, what happens is the remedy for that causes the muscle contractions to be strong. And so your body gets strong. The muscle, which I used to use the arm, you put the arm out, right? Touch the body, push the arm down. If it's strong, you know that that person is dealing with some parasites. So that's the basic thing of muscle testing. But it works because everything has energy. Parasites have their energy. They're not energy that you want in your body. Food has energy. Lights have energy. The sun has energy. And food has levels of energy. And I'm not talking about calorie energy. I'm talking about angstroms. Okay, as the Oxford Dictionary defines angstroms as a unit of length equal to 100 millionth of a centimeter, used mainly to express wavelengths and interatomic distances. Excuse me. Okay, so I got this. It's at Jack on Plants. Okay, so he created this. How electric foods jack your energy and kill diseases. Okay, so what has the most angstroms of anything? That is your fruits, right? That is your fruits. That's your most electrical. That's what you need to heal your central nervous system. Your nerves need lots of electrical energy because it is electric. It sends a signal. So fruits are your best, okay? And you can live on fruits. Believe it or not, you can live on fruits. You don't have to have meat. You don't have to have bread. Your body can do a lot of things. And foods have so much in them when they're grown right. They have so much in them that they are so nutritious. Okay, next, so you have between 9,000 and 10,000 angstroms in raw fruit. Okay, some of your best things are grapes, berries, and melons. Okay, but those are things you do not want. Like I said, you don't want to mix that with your other foods because you do not want to create a fungus or cause alcohol problems in your system because of fermentation. So the next one would be raw vegetables. Raw vegetables are between 8,000 and 9,000 angstroms. Your cooked vegetables are 4,000 to 6,500 angstroms. Okay, so if you look up here, he says the average cancer patient measures 4,975 angstroms. Now, this is my theory, is that because we've been on processed foods, we've been poisoning our selves with vaccines, all these things that are in our environment, that over the generations, the genetic makeup of people has gotten weaker and weaker. And that's why we're seeing all these obese people and mental illnesses and all these cancers and things were weaker. There was a book, Potter's Cats, where he did a test on cats. Cats are supposed to have raw meat, raw milk, right? Well, he had cats over series, and he fed some of them the raw milk, the raw meat like they need. Then the next ones he cooked it. And then I forget what he did after that. But you could see generationally by the fourth generation of cats, they could no longer reproduce. So that's how important the correct food is for you. So that's number one you can do, is start eating more fruits and raw vegetables. And you can have some meat. You want it to be quality. You can if you're healthy. But if you have Parkinson's, or you have Alzheimer's, or somebody, you're going to bring them down with that. So you want to really focus on your fruits. Okay. So let's go to the next. Let me double check, make sure nobody's asking any questions. I don't see any questions so far. Okay, go back. All right, let's go to the next screen. So electromagnetic frequencies are everywhere, right? Do you have a tower near you? Your phones are electromagnetic frequencies. The microwave, your laptop, even your control sticks. Okay, I don't know if this helps or not, but I put mine in the drawer. I don't want them to have access to one another. I don't want my house to be one big Bluetooth. We already have a router, right? So there's things you can do, like you can get those little magnets that you put on your laptop. Excuse me. They do work. The little stickers. I'm going to show you a test that they did with those. What happens to your blood when you're in these magnetic frequencies? You can use those. You don't want to put your phone by your head. You don't want to put your phone in your pockets, men. You want to keep them away from your body. Use your talk through your phone with it away from you, or text if you can. Don't put it near your head. And anything you can do, I know there's things you can plug into the walls and connect your internet to that, where it doesn't go out as much into the, I'm not sure how exactly that works, but I know I have those little stickers that you put on. I have them on my smart TVs. I have them on my computer. I have it on my phone. So I do my best to keep it away, but we cannot get rid of this totally. Then you have, there's mats. The mats you can buy, the sit grounding mats. I don't know how well they work. I have one. I have not noticed a whole lot with it. Might be the brand I have. I'm not sure. A lot of people tout them. I don't know. I do have salt lamps, Himalayan salt lamps. To me, I feel that helps me. I like having them on even during the day, because I feel like it creates a certain frequency in the air that is helpful. Let's see. So those are some things you can do. Okay, get you some of those little things, put them on your phones, put them on your laptops or your computers, so that you're not, it absorbs that electromagnetic noise. So, okay. So this is a study that was done by some of the people that sell those little stickers I was telling you about. I don't even know what brand I have, and I don't know what brand this is. But just so you know, they're probably biased, right? Because they're the one doing the study. But the objective of this study is to demonstrate the effects of electromagnetic fields caused by mobile phone frequencies on blood coagulation. So why that is important is because why your blood circulates, and you need blood in your brain, right? So if your red blood cells are coagulating, which if you want your blood to be nice and healthy, you need a lot of oxygen, which is what your red blood cells do. Is they carry oxygen throughout your body. So you want good flow of energy, good flow of blood. So if you're anemic, that's going to matter. You're going to feel anemic if your blood is coagulated. So anyway, blood flow is very important. So exercise, getting things moving, all the juices flowing, getting out into the sun, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Anyway, okay, so they did this study on the mobile phone frequencies on blood coagulation and the reversed and protective equipment of the device, which is what they have. We use dark field microscopy to make blood coagulation visible and show immediate changes. So you're going to see that in a minute. I took a picture of their study. Due to the influence of the EMR on the mobile phone, they're electromagnetic, probably, I don't know what R stands for, whatever their device is. Using erythrocytes, which is blood cells, for demonstration of the effects is an appropriate method as they are highly sensitive to electromagnetic fields. Why? Because for one thing, you have iron in your blood, right? Your iron is going to be conducted by electric, right? It's conductive. So it depends on the surface charge, whether they clot or not. Other findings confirm that the exposure of human blood to a magnetic field leads to blood coagulation and inhibits fibrinolysis and initiates changes in the electrophoric mobility of erythrocytes. So here's how they did. They took blood from healthy people on an empty stomach before they held their cell phones. After holding it for 5 minutes, they took a picture. They took a picture of the blood before the holding it to see what the red blood cells were doing. They had them hold the cell phone, then they took a picture of the red blood cells, and then they released it and did it again. And all my references are right here at the bottom of the screens. So let's take a look and see what happened. So here you can see, this is before. This is before holding the cell phone. These are red blood cells. You can see they're not even perfectly round. But then when they put the cell phone in the hand, look at that. That causes the red blood cells to stack up and look like a bunch of coins, twisting and turning in a stack. And then they put the repellent thing on the cell phone and took it again. And this is what it looked like. Actually, these blood cells have been better than the ones before. So again, after attaching the protective device to the phone, as in figure C, it looks even healthier. The erythrocytes are hardly touching, mostly repelling each other, which indicate an ideal magnetic surface charge. Now, here, that leads me to another thing. Well, let's finish this. This is another one because we're going to get to it. I wanted to talk to you about magnet therapy, which is something you can do. So this is a study. Wi-Fi is an important threat to human health, and this was done at the Washington State University by Martin L. Paul. And this is taken from the state. It says each of the effects reported above in from 2 to 11 studies. So he's looking at different studies and he's putting all the information together. Have an extensive literature to their occurrence and response to various and other non-thermal microwave frequencies, EMFs, discussed in detail below. These include findings that Wi-Fi exposure produce impacts on the testes, leading to lower male fertility, oxidative stress, so that is the inflammation right there, okay? Apoptosis, which is a process that has important causal role in neurodegenerative diseases. Apoptosis is when your cells die. They're supposed to die at, a certain period of time and replicate and die properly. Cellular DNA damage, a process causing cancer and germline mutations. Neuropsychiatric changes, including EEG changes and hormonal changes. So those are all things that can be affected by electromagnetic frequencies. So what can you do? Okay, one really great thing to do is just get out in the sun. Get out in the sun, because the sun, and touch the ground, put your feet on the ground or touch a tree. I know I sound like a tree hugger, but yep, it works. Okay. It helps to balance your frequency, get everything, your blood will start to uncoagulate, and it gives you endorphins. So I know it's not easy to do in the winter, but you want to get out as much as you possibly can. Okay, those are all things that help balance, cost you nothing. You can do that today. Okay, magnets. Magnet therapy is another thing, and there are some books out there that you can buy and learn how to use magnets for yourself. Michael Tierra has one that is simple to understand, and magnets are not real expensive. You don't have to have these magnets. You can get smaller magnets, but magnet therapy. Now, what sparked my interest in magnet therapy is that I was calling some of my clients from California, and I was sharing that I was starting my school. And two of them, as a matter of fact, two of my clients, one had Lyme's disease. Okay. And I called her and she said, "Oh, I was cured of that like 6 years ago." What? I said, "What?" She says, "Yeah, I went to a doctor who does magnet therapy, and I'm cured." So that really sparked my interest. And that's why I started looking and getting books and stuff. And I'm not trained in it, but I don't think you have to, I don't think it's really something that you need a lot of training. You just need to, get that book, or there are people that actually offer courses. And then another client that I called, she had been struggling with colon cancer, and she was using magnet therapy and it was reversing it. So yes, magnet therapy does work. So seek out somebody that is trained in that and how the body functions and how the energy flows through, and or take a course and you can apply that to yourself. Anyway, okay, so today I promised you that I would be showing you how to look into the iris of your eye to see if your transverse colon is causing brain congestion. So if you have a mirror, that would be great. You could use, this is a keychain light or any kind of a light. This is a pin light. It's out of, there it is, barely showing. But anyway, you can look into the mirror, get up close, and be able to see your eye. And the reason I'm telling you that is because if you have a chance, go get yourself a mirror right now, or just, watch. It's not hard to do. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay, so here, this is called an iridology chart. It's called iridology, not iridology. And the reason that this works is because your nervous system travels from your brain, your eyes, to your brain, to out your body, and back up into your eyes again. So it's like a loop, right? It's an electrical loop. And your eyes reflect what is happening in your nervous system. So through the years, the many, many years that this has been a practice, it has been perfected more and more. Now, do we know everything? No, but we know a lot. So I wanted to show you, if you look at this chart, you can see that it's numbered 12 o'clock, just like a clock. 12 o'clock's at the top, and then you travel 1, 2, 3, 6 is all the way down at the bottom. 9 would be like 9 o'clock, right? And then, so it goes around in a circle like that. So the brain area is between 11 and 1 at the very top. Now, when we're looking for the brain, right in the very center on each eye, like your right eye goes to your right side of your body, the left eye goes to the left side of your body, reflects everything that's going on there. So for instance, look at the left eye here. See where it says L? You can see the heart is mainly here. The heart does cover a little bit into the right hemisphere of the body, so you don't see as much, but you see mostly the heart, right? So, and then on the right side, you're going to see more of the liver, where on the left side, you have the spleen. So that's how your body is made anatomically. But on both eyes, you're going to see the brain, okay, from 11 to 12. So the way you would look to see, is your transverse colon clogging your brain? Because when you developed, you're developing from your mother's womb, okay? You start with a digestive system, and then your nervous system starts from there. You begin to form your nervous system, and that nervous system goes around all your organs. And so that tissue that goes around all the organs started from your gut, and the nervous tissue goes to everything. And so we're going to look at some eyes here in a second. You're going to see how that shows up in the iris of the eye. But I want you to see that this is from here to here, and from here to here on each eye. That is the whole brain area. Now this is the pupil. Then you have your stomach, and then right around that is your colon and your small intestines. Your small intestines will be towards your ear, or not towards your ear, towards your nose. Where your colon, you have a transverse colon, which goes across the top of the stomach there. See how it anatomically goes across the top of the stomach, goes down. You have your cecum. Same thing on this side, okay? So when we're looking in the eyes, if this transverse colon, which often gets congestion because you have the bends. You have bends on your colon. So you have your small intestines, which are going to be closer towards your belly button, okay? And then all around the outside portion is the colon, which goes up, transfers over and down, but you have little areas where they actually bend. So right in between there at the top, we get a lot of congestion, okay? So that transverse colon goes up into the brain. And let me go to the next slide because I think it's a close-up. So do you see how the transverse colon goes up into the brain? Okay, so you have right in here, you have your pituitary gland, which if your transverse colon is congested, it's going to go up through the pituitary, maybe the hypothalamus. That's going to affect your hormones and everything. But if it's congested, it's going to go up. It's going to affect your ability to think clearly. So how do you know if yours is congested? Well, let's look at these eyes down at the bottom. This one on the left, this blue eye, is one of the better eyes I've ever seen. It's not perfect because you can see there is some white on there, but this eye is pretty well structured. See these lines here that go up, these fibers are nice and tight. There's a lot of them. This is called the nerve wreath. Okay, this is your autonomic nerves system, which came from your gut, right? Everything on the outside is your sympathetic. Anything inside this nerve wreath is your parasympathetic, and they're connected, right? By that nerve wreath. So right on top of here, can you see this would be what the collarette? That's another name for the nerve wreath. So your transverse colon and your collarette are right about here on top. He has a pretty doggone healthy eye. But if you look to this next eye, okay, here's your stomach. Look at this person has coloring, brown discharge. This person has probably a blue eye, not a brown eye. And why do I say that? Because if you look underneath, you can actually almost see that there is a different color, like a blue color underneath. This right here, these rings are indicative of myelin sheath damage. Okay, those are called nerve wreaths. And sometimes they can be contractions, meaning you're tense and your nerves are contracted. So you're going to have pain in the areas where these nerves are contracted. That isn't what we're here for. I wanted to show you how to tell if your transverse colon is congested. This is a really good one to show how it works, because this person has these really dark spots that show damage to tissue. This person has, it's all brown here, showing that there's congestion and in the tissue of the stomach. It's in the colon and the small intestines, but especially in the transverse colon here. And it's going up through these radar solaris, which is, kind of, you could think of it as like a leaky tunnel going from the digestion up into the brain. So right here, like basically right through the pituitary, right? So this person's they're going to have hormone issues, maybe not think straight. They're going to have some dizziness because it's going right through the pons. Pineal gland, maybe not sleeping very good. Okay. And so when the transverse colon is congested like that, it's going to affect the brain too. So you have to clean it. Fruits are your best way to clean it, right? Vegetables have a lot of fiber in them, but sometimes they have too much fiber and cause people issues because we don't break down the fiber very well, and can cause gas and bloating and stuff. So sometimes people have problems with that, but you won't have problems with fruit because fruit is so easily to digest. Fruit will begin to pull those toxins. Now, when you have something this deep and this crevative, it's going to take a while, but it's worth it, right? It's worth it. Start eating your fruits and vegetables. You can get things, certain fibers that will start cleaning out the edges. You want to get your digestion going. Let's look at this other eye. This is obviously a blue eye, right? You can see in the background it's blue, but look at that heavy layer of congestion sitting on top of it. That is acids building up in the body. You can see the radar solaris going right up through the life force zone. It's called the life force zone. Person probably, not that they're not happy, but maybe not as excited about life as they could be, because this is considered the life force zone. But anyway, maybe some parasites. Parasites love to live. Just think, what does parasites do out on if you throw a piece of meat outside, right? They go in and they clean things up. So when you have congestion like that in your body, you more than likely are going to have something that's there to clean it up. Okay, and yes, you can get meat. You can get parasites in so many different ways. Okay, let's look at this brown eye. You don't see the fibers in brown eyes near as well. takes a special camera. These are all done with a phone camera. So really, to be able to see real good fibers with a brown eye, you would need a special camera, but you can still see a lot. You can see that this person has the lines going through, up into the brain area there. And so you can see some congestion and then in that area too. So what does yours look like? Do you have this? So you just, forgive me, and take off your glasses and just shine a light to the side. You can look right in there. I have some yellowing there. Mine's almost gone. I've been working on it for a while. Mine is almost cleared up, but I still have some radar solaris. So my health has improved so much since I started eating my fruit and detoxifying. So that's a key. I'm gonna go back. Making sure. Nope, I don't see any chat. No questions being asked. All right. Just double check. Okay, so it's choline. Choline is the basis for acetylcholine. Okay, so you can take a choline supplement, which I'm going to recommend to you. You can get them anywhere. You don't have to get it from my store, but if you get it from me, you'll always save 15%, no matter what you buy, when you buy it. You get free shipping after $50. And then you can also look into my recommendations, my favorites, where I have different lists. I have like brain and memory. I have brain and central nervous system. I have digestion. I have hormones. I have, glandulars. I have homeopathics. I got all those things in different categories so that you can go to a certain category to look for what you want. You can always email me if you don't know what to get. But anyway, let's get back to choline. Choline is an essential nutrient that is naturally present in some foods and available as a dietary supplement. Now, if you Google choline foods, mostly it's going to be meats and cheese and eggs and things like that. But you can get choline in your fruits too, in your vegetables. So I'm not sure why they do that. I really am not sure why you always, if you look for zinc too, that's the same thing. It's always a protein, a dairy, something like that. But those aren't the only foods with choline. If you just start getting off the processed foods, you're going to get choline in the process, and is what takes all the dietary benefit out. So choline is a source of methyl groups needed for many steps in the metabolism. So do you have a metabolism problem? Okay. The body needs choline to synthesize phosphatidylcholine and sphingomyelin. I don't know what that's sphingomyelin. I don't know how to pronounce. But that would be your myelin sheaths, right? Okay, so we want fast. We want healthy myelin sheaths, like we said. So choline is the basis for both of those. Two major phospholipids vital for cell membranes. Therefore, all plants and animal cells need choline to preserve their structural integrity. In addition, choline is needed to produce acetylcholine, an important neurotransmitter for memory, mood, muscle control, and other brain and nervous system functions. So are you having problems with muscle, and are you having a problem with dizziness? Maybe you're low on acetylcholine. Choline also plays important roles in modulating gene expression, cell membrane signaling, lipid transport, and metabolism, and early brain development. Okay, so how much do you take? This is according to the NIH, recommended daily allowance. So take that for what it's worth, okay? So since I'm an adult over 19 years old, let's just look there. They're saying I need at least 425 milligrams a day. If you're breastfeeding, you need at least 550 milligrams. And what is the top amount? They say the highest amount you should take is 3,500 milligrams. Okay. I take 2,000 milligrams a day of this. Okay. This is in, like I said, this is in my my Fullscript account. You can look into the notes or the side there, and you will get my direct link to open up an account with me. You will always get 15% off. So that is like, this is normally $56. Your price would be $47.59. Okay, so that would be for anything. So this one is what I'm taking right now, and I thought it would take me longer to see a difference, but I think I saw a change the first day, and I was already taking the Copa. So I take 4,000 milligrams a day of this. And then I was taking this. Bacoba is supports memory and learning and empowers your clarity of thought. So this is a plant base, and I was already taking that, and I already had some help with that for mental alertness and all that kind of thing. But when I added the choline, I feel like that really made it a whole lot better. So if I was going to choose one or the other, I would probably choose the choline first and then add this. I mean, if you're really having some issues, maybe you want both of them. But anyways, so everybody, I want to thank you for coming. Do you have any questions? You can contact me for linda.wells.naturopath at Good News Health. Oh, forgive me, I don't have that one anymore. linda.wells.naturopath@gmail.com, or go to my website or direct message me, and I'll get you started. If you're interested in finding out how you can become self-sufficient, empower yourself to be able to take care of yourself and make good decisions for your family when it comes to your health, I have a course. And if you're interested in finding out about that, direct message me and we'll talk to you later. I want to thank everybody for coming. Sure enjoyed it. Hopeful that you enjoyed it too and got a lot of good out of it. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.